Jesus was crucified at Golgotha on the cross. For almost 2,000 years, Christians have focused on Jesus' crucifixion and have discussed its theological impact. It has become the central symbol used in Christian art, architecture, and jewelry. But the question is, what did Jesus' cross actually look like? Have you ever thought about that? The Romans, remember, they used crucifixion as a way to punish and also humiliate the condemned throughout several regions and for a few hundred years. So whenever they were experimenting, they did not just have one crucifixion method. In fact, they had 4 main crucifixes. The first is called the crux simplex, which is just a tree or a pole or a piece of wood, and a person would be tied or have their hands above their head nailed. Next was the crux comitia, which is like a capital T. Here the condemned would carry the top part and then they would connect it to the vertical part. Third, we have the crux amicia, which is the shape that most people think of whenever they think of the cross. And finally, we have the crux decussata, which is an X shape. Here the condemned would have their arms and feet stretched out. Ouch. So, which was Jesus' crucifixion? Was it this one or that one? We don't know exactly, but the Bible does mention that Jesus' arms were stretched out, so that pretty much rules out the first one. And there is some evidence that in Judea in the 1st century, it seems to be the second one, the crux comitia, which is the one shaped like a capital T. Now, considering that Jesus had to carry his cross, if it was a cross like we're used to seeing, then that would weigh 400 pounds. It'd be impossible for anyone to carry it all. Now, with the crux comitia, Jesus would have carried the top piece only, which still weighed a ton. His head would be lower than his hands, think of him like this, so there would be still plenty of room to nail the sign saying that Jesus is the King of the Jews. It's only a guess, we don't know for sure, but the important thing is that Jesus did die on the cross, so that we can be forgiven of our sins. So there you go, a little bit about crucifixion, and that's enough today for our Historical Minute.